Hello, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some work out in the garden. The girls are asleep. It's actually Father's Day today, and my husband does not, he's alright. I actually sowed some seeds back in, well, the first seeds I sowed were spinach and lettuce. I did those in like February, I think, and then moving along, sowed more after, at Good Friday, when the Farmer's Almanac always says that it's good to sow seeds. You're most likely past the last frost. But I just had a lot of trouble with my garden this year. It is currently the middle of June, and I've had some luck with some things, so I'm going to keep those going, but I have a lot of wasted space in the garden where things just didn't work out, so I'm actually going to sow a lot more seeds in the places where I tried to do the exact same crops beforehand. So I'm going to get to that. It is hot today. Like I said, it's middle of June in Georgia. I think my rain gauge thermometer read like 93 degrees a few minutes ago, so it's hot, and I don't prefer doing this stuff in the middle of the day, but we take advantage while the babies nap. If you're new here, my name is Megan. I have two little girls. One is 1, one is 2. I work part-time at their what? Yeah. Anyways, I work part-time at their preschool, but we follow the school schedule, and so we're out for summer break right now. So they're taking naps. Nicholas is working on some stuff around the property because that's what he likes to do, so why not do it on Father's Day? And I'm going to take advantage of everybody else being occupied with stuff. Okay, so here's what we got currently. It needs work, y'all. Trust me. So this right through here is just going to be worked a little bit, the soil mended, and then we're going to sow some more seeds. Through here we have our pathway. I'm going to have some green beans that are looking really dry, but I'm trying to do a good job staying on top of watering them. I also want to make some homemade fertilizer, so as to use not quite as many chemicals. Over here, the soil is just way too hard, so I was trying to just dig this a little bit. That's where I originally had cucumbers, squash, and some watermelon planted, but the ground is just not going to work with me this year. Next year, we're planning on doing raised beds. As you can see, though, I have a little bitty watermelon sprout that's trying its best to hang on, but we'll see how it does after fertilizer, if it even makes it to that point. I have a grow bag here that whatever was in it didn't work out. I don't even remember what was in it. My carrots are actually probably the best growing thing I have right now. Marigold's doing fine, and then have some lettuce over there that's barely hanging on, and a strawberry plant that's trying to produce but also having a hard time. In here I had some green beans. They did not make it. I just need to pull them out. I think they may have been overcrowded, as well as not watered well enough. Life got really crazy right after I planted this garden, so I did not maintain it like I should have. I had some sunflowers in here that were doing well, and then all of a sudden just went kaput. And then I had intended this bag for tomatoes, but never got there. And then this, I am working on digging and hopefully going to sow some more things there, but I don't really know if I'll get to that today. My main focus today is, and then I had some flowers over there. I don't know. Whatever was in there, it did not work out either. So today my focus is this area here up to the green beans, getting that amended and sowing new seeds, and then this inner row up to the strawberry plant. The inner rows are doing really well. So as far as soil and production, not that the things in there are beautiful, but they're doing better than most other places in the garden right now. So I'm going to sow some stuff in that row up to the strawberry plant, and then probably where this lettuce stops, the other half of that row, and then the entire row will be on the marigold. It doesn't have anything in it, so I'll put stuff there. The carrots I'll leave alone, but then this row over beside the carrots is unoccupied right now. So that's my main focus, is this central area and then that side over there for today. So a little bit of backstory. We did a no-dig garden this year and had seen and read a lot of stuff about it, a lot of really good reviews and feedback and just articles and YouTube videos. We watched a lot, we read a lot, we learned a lot, I think, but you never really know until you do it, right? So we started it last fall so that we could get the cardboard down and, you know, the grass killed off and all of that. And then over the season, as the cardboard was decomposing and as we accumulated compost and mulch and whatnot, leaves, we put it all on there. So in theory, I think we did most of what we were supposed to do correctly. It just did not pan out all that well, and it also makes the ground super tough, at least in our experience. Maybe it has to do with our pH levels or where we're doing it at, or maybe we did something wrong along the way. I really am not sure, but it's just not been overly fruitful for us. Hopefully this second go around of the season will be a little bit better and more productive, but we'll just have to see. I'll update you guys as we go, and I know it's looking really rough right now. We have so many, sorry, I just noticed how zoomed in my camera was on all that, but anyways, we have so many things that we want to do next year. This year was more of a, let's start on a small scale, don't bite off more than we can chew, put all of the crops into the ground that we would like to have in a kitchen garden and see what does well, see what requires more effort, and is it worth that extra effort to us. So we're still learning a lot. Like I said, I want to go through with this second round of sowing and a late harvest to see if it does any better, if maybe it was the time of year that I sowed things, if it, you know, if it was a lack of effort on my part. I don't know. So next year we would like to have 6 to 8 raised beds, probably 3 or 4 feet by 8 feet in size for each one, and that way we'll have more control over the soil and all of its contents, as well as more organization for, pause please, more organization as far as where each plant is, and then we can do crop rotation year over year, and I think it'll just be a lot simpler that way. And if we install like a drip irrigation system or something like that, then it would be easier and more effective, more efficient. We knew that this was not how we wanted to leave it. We just kind of put this here because we had the fencing, and this was, you know, a small enough but big enough space at the same time for us to do what we wanted to do to get our feet wet with it. So yeah, we're still learning, as we all are, right? Like, that's what gardening is, and I think that's why so many people love it, because you never are a master at it. Like, even though there are master gardeners out there, it's always going to bring a challenge for even the most seasoned and well experienced of gardeners. So very quickly, because I'm enjoying this breeze way too much and don't want to get back to sweating, this whole area right here next year, basically we're just going to take down the fencing from this and expand on either side. Like, I think the depth will stay generally the same, but next year, or for our fall garden, depending on when we can get our raised beds put together, built, this area right here will have raised beds. This that's currently here, we plan will have raised beds, and then this area over here I think will as well. Depending on, if we do 8 beds, then definitely this row over here, or this side over here. If we do 6 beds, then it'll just probably be from there over. But this year I actually dug 2 rows for corn, and I only ended up sowing the corn on this side. So it has also not really prospered. But you can see it, like I have, where'd you go? Anyways, I have some little sprouts here, and then this one is the one that's ended up doing the best, but I still don't know that it's doing as well as it needs to do for like a tremendous amount of corn to come off of it. But even if we just had 1 stalk, that would be a success in my book. Like I said, 8 or 9 seeds, and even if just 1 produced, like I would be happy with that. soil is not very friendly, but the weeds are gone from it now, so I can work on something with it later. Now we're going to move over to this other side, which should be a lot nicer. I think from when I was working on it a little bit earlier, it feels like everything's a lot softer here. So this is really where I think I'll spend most of my time planting. I just wanted to get that other side cleared up as well. Yeah, that went a whole lot faster and feels a whole lot better. So let's sow some seeds. Okay, it is several hours later. I went inside when the girls had woken up from naps and spent the afternoon with them while Nicholas finished up some stuff outside that he wanted to work on. And then we went out to eat for dinner, and then we went and visited my parents afterwards. So now we have one playing on the playground, one just went to bed, and I'm about to quickly water the garden, give it a good soak after I got those seeds sowed this afternoon, and then maybe tomorrow I'll work on getting potato eyes in the ground. Oh, hi. Same me, new hair. I have this tendency to make very impulsive decisions when it comes to my hair, although I am extremely particular about a lot of things and very much a perfectionist and in a lot of ways type A. My hair has never been one of those things. Like if you knew me in high school, I was basically a platinum blonde, and then my first year of college kept the platinum blonde look. It grew out really long. Sophomore year of college, I had a friend in hair school, and so I went to let her get credits for doing my hair. She wasn't there, but I was like, what the heck, this person needs credits too. So I let them do my hair, and it went quite a bit darker than what I anticipated. It got chopped to about this length, but it was jet black. That really threw people in my life for quite some time. And then yeah, after that it lightened up to a little bit darker than my natural color, and I kept it that for a long time, and now I just really don't even know what my natural color is. I think this is pretty close because I've been out in the sun a good bit, so it's brought it back to where it is. It's like this light brown color. But anyways, all of that to say, the people in my life have loved me through my hair journey many a times, so they are not surprised by this. But I've been kind of debating on if I wanted to do this, and then yesterday both of my girls were napping really well at the same time, which is not always a guarantee. And I actually woke Rosie up from her nap because I was like, if I don't have her needing me for things, then I'm going to do something reckless. I'm going to cut all my hair off. And I usually cut my own hair, but not this extreme. And then she moved to the living room and fell right back asleep in the recliner. So I was like, what the heck, I'm gonna do it. So I did. But anyways, you know, I think the trick to making rain fall out of the sky, at least in North Georgia where we are, is to sow seeds, because we have had such a dry June and May. I feel like it has not rained in forever, and it was driving me nuts. There's just no water for a garden quite like rainwater. You know what I mean? Like, the water hose just doesn't do justice. So I sowed seeds on Sunday, and it has rained every day since. It is now Wednesday, and it's currently drizzling as I sit out here on my porch, and I'm just very grateful. Still have not gotten to those potatoes yet. Hopefully I'll do that soon. But for now, I'm going to go inside, and while the girls finish up sleeping, we're going to mix up some homemade fertilizer. It's got ammonia, like household ammonia. Another day, more cars. It's got household ammonia, it's got baking soda, water, and Epsom salt. And I believe that's all, but I'll link the recipe that I found in the description box below. So it doesn't really have to be done today, because you don't even, from what I understand, you don't even fertilize until the seedlings are like 2 to 3 inches tall. And that's going to be roughly 4 to 6 weeks. So I got time for that, but I do want to use this on the crops that I already have. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. Might make some afternoon coffee, because this is just the perfect afternoon. The perfect summer afternoon in Georgia. What a dream. Friends, so it is not even a week later, 6 days later, and I'm so excited because it's rained almost every day this week, like I told you previously. But I already have growth out of the seeds that I sowed on last Sunday, so that was way faster than what I got whenever I sowed back around Easter. And I think just they love this heat, this humidity, and then all the rain that they've gotten on top of it. Very exciting. My lettuce that's been in the ground is doing really well. It's starting, like, it's grown. The carrots are just like taking off on me. For some reason I think I had pests on my green beans, so those I've scrapped, but I sowed more and they're already sprouting and doing well, so we should be fine. Harvested a tomato off of our tomato plant earlier. Chicken laid another egg. I currently have no clue where 2 of our chickens are, the 2 that actually lay right now. I don't know. We let them out to free range and I don't see them anywhere. So hopefully they'll come back home at supper. I'm sure they will, but it's just part of living on a 1-acre homestead, right? So I have some potting soil. I'm gonna get these potatoes in the ground, and then hopefully it's not too late. And then I also am hoping to get my pumpkin seeds sown. I saved a bunch of them from last year's pumpkins that I had actually bought. I would love to have a lot of pumpkins. Like, I would love to have a little backyard pumpkin patch. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I have a ton of seeds from the pumpkins that we got. So yeah, we're doing potatoes, pumpkins, and then maybe if I have time and energy, because it's another hot day, I will do some flower seeds also. We shall see. We shall see what the afternoon holds as we go. So, let's do this. So quick update, I put flowers there instead of potatoes. I'm pretty sure that my potatoes had gone bad, even if it was just bruising from them resting on each other in the bag for too long. I didn't want to risk planting moldy potatoes. I didn't know what it would do to the rest of my garden, and then obviously if the potatoes were to produce something, I didn't want to risk us consuming them and it having gross stuff in it that we don't want in our bodies. So that's the beauty of being your own gardener, right? Like, you can make those decisions that you think are best for the people who are going to be consuming them. So that was that. Kind of a bummer, but it's okay. We still made use out of the space. Alright, we got 2 rows, and I think I'll settle for that when it comes to a pumpkin patch, at least for today, most likely for this year. Yeah, it's okay. Decision. I know my pumpkin patch might look puny, but if all 8 seeds produce and do well, which who knows if they will, because how they were stored, it'll be looking mighty cute. And then also my corn, most things did well with the rain. My corn really didn't. Like, the one that was doing well, it is no longer existent. So I'm gonna pull that up real quick and then just put a flower medley through here and see if we can get some perennials growing, and that way once we get our house painted, maybe I can transplant these for landscaping. Alright friends, so the garden has been fertilized and it's been watered for the evening, and who knows what else will be added. I definitely realized that this is not, that my garden has not met expectations, maybe for you and maybe for myself. But one thing that I've just, other than life circumstances that just kind of like went awry, and just my whole like daily scheduling routine and the flow of things that I anticipated just went out the window about a week after I sowed the seeds for that first harvest. So I'm giving myself some grace there, but also I learned a lot, and I learned that I was not as disciplined as I needed to be in some areas. I just realized things that I didn't know before that I'm going to be implementing as we move forward. So I don't take that as wasted time when it comes to the garden. I think there was a lot of good that came out of it, and I'm excited to see what comes from it as we move forward into the second harvest of the season. So I hope that makes sense. And I also, personally, I don't want to allow the garden to interfere with my main priorities in life, especially in this phase of my life. Having very small children, and we live close to a road, close to two roads. We're on a corner that are both quite busy, especially the front road, and we do not have a fenced in property. I just don't ever want to lose track of my responsibilities right now, and my just the God-given wonderful blessings that have been entrusted to me in this season. Yes, I want to learn how to grow our own food. Yes, I want to add this skill to my tool belt. Yes, I want to be more well-rounded in this area and be able to help cut down costs of groceries if that ends up being the case from a garden, or just make things make healthier choices for our family by knowing what I'm treating our food with, or just how it's being cared for and handled. And so all of that is extremely important to me. It's not important, it's not at the cost of being there for my children or nurturing them whenever they have their 100th boo-boo of the day. Like, none of those things are going to be less important than a garden, at least not right now. Like, maybe if the world goes absolutely to heck and we have no other way to get food, then yeah, they're gonna have to realize like this is an absolute necessity. But right now it's just not. It's a hobby, and I think it's really important as well. This is the other thing that I wanted to mention. I think it's extremely important that we just go for things. Like, I'm trying to and planning to keep this in line with my priorities and where it needs to be, but at the same time, we could have simply said like, yeah, we're too busy. We have two really small kids. They require a lot of attention. We don't live in the most ideal location. This wasn't like a convenient time or a convenient place for us to do a garden. But it's something that we want to have down the road. Like, we want to have a garden. We want to have potentially acreage if that's in the cards. We want to have livestock if that's in the cards. Like, we want to have all these things, and I just don't understand how people can say that they want those things and not start where they're at. Figuring out a little bit of what the heck we're doing before we try to take on some kind of large-scale operation. So I just get very frustrated, and it's probably something that I need to work on, but I tend to get very frustrated with people who have these big aspirations and just seem to come up with excuses as to why they can't start now, why they can't begin learning those things now and just get their hands dirty and figure it out. And it blows my mind sometimes, and it just and I've always been this way. It's nothing new. It's nothing like anything personal with anybody in my life right now. If you're going to talk about doing something big, and maybe gardening's not big to some people, but like with missions, I went to college with a lot of really wonderful people, but that's where I really was exposed to international missions and the potential of people doing that as a full-time vocation after graduating, and having their degree and all these things. Like there were so many people. I didn't even go to a Christian school, but there was a lot of Jesus there. It was amazing. But there were so many people that would say, after college, I'm going to the mission field. After college, and they like had their places picked out. They meant it. Like they were for real, set on that track. And some of them ended up doing that, but the thing was, they always told us, like leaders always told us, they were like, how in the world are you going to share Jesus in a foreign country where you may have a language barrier, you definitely have a cultural barrier, when you're not even doing it here on our campus? Like, how does that make sense? You're not just going to, like, a switch is not going to instantly flip as soon as you get into a different place. You have to start where you're at, because he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. And that is what the Lord sees, I think. So I just, like I said, probably something that I need to work on in terms of like my patience towards people with that. But I get so frustrated. And I just wanted to tell you about that for a second, because maybe that's your case. Like maybe you have really legitimate reasons for not starting things, for not trying things, not wanting to take on anything else in this part of your life in this year, like whatever, that there's very justifiable reasons. But I think that a lot of us really just come up with excuses because it's something that's not convenient. So if that's you, let me just encourage you to grab a shovel, grab some potting soil and some seeds or starter plants even, and just get to it. Like just give it a go. It's not too late to plant in North Georgia. It's getting close, but then there will be a fall planting season as well. So there's still time for much to be done throughout the rest of this year. But on that note, on that lighthearted note, I am going to sign off. I'm so glad that you came along with me for some gardening days here on our little 1 acre growing, hopefully soon to be, or maybe we already are, a homestead. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye guys.